welcome to Live Check, Dan. I guess first question I've got for you today is, what do you do to switch off? You got a thing you do? Is it working out, or what? Is it got something that you go to when you're feeling stressed and a lot on? What do you do?
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for having me. But I think if I try to work out first thing in the morning, so like straight after I get up. So I do a 5 a.m. class. Often see you there. Just because it doesn't sort of impact too much on my time with my family. I do it when everyone else is asleep. So when I want to switch off when I go home, I usually just sort of put my phone away and spend some time with my 2 kids. Their perspective on the world is very, very different to everyone else's that I deal with every day. So all the business and the selling and the constant interruptions that come with doing what I do is at complete opposites with my children's day. So I just like to spend time with them and sort of play games with them and just hang out basically. Yeah, it just takes your mind off it. And like you want to devote all your attention to them, so no phones, no.
There's a double question. How long have you been self-employed for? But first, I guess, what do you do? What does the day-to-day kind of look like for you?
Yeah, so I run 3 Burger Fuels restaurants across Christchurch, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now. So we opened in 2015, our first store, August 2015, but we spent a good year or so prior to that trying to find, secure and build a site, because it was sort of post-quake Christchurch. Buildings were in hot demand. So the first store we opened was Papanui, which was August 2015, which was then that, and that store was supposed to be open February 2015, and those were construction delays. So I've been self-employed for a little bit longer than I've actually been working in the store. So I did some work on training some other staff and just worked at head office at Burger Fuels, so that was cool. And then in my spare time, I also buy and sell some cars, and I've set up a car retailing business now called Southern Specialist Cars, which is based here in Christchurch as well. We're just about to move to a new premises around the corner from you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Selwyn Street. Yeah.
Good part of town?
Yeah.
So, what gets you out of bed in the morning? I guess kind of probably touched on that before, the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, usually my alarm clock for that 5 o'clock gym session.
What time do you get up for that?
4:40.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
But it goes off, dude.
It's a pretty quick run in from like where I live. It's about 10 minutes, and there's like no traffic.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be too worried about that. But 4:40, the time you sort of wake up. I don't eat anything before I go. It's too early. I wouldn't want to get up too much earlier than that.
Yeah.
But it's good because it means you get home at 6. It gives you plenty of time to sort of get set up for the rest of your day.
It'd be very similar sort of space away from me, because I'm like just at the bottom of Colombo Street.
Yeah.
And the run there, pretty much I get back to my door at like 6,
Yep.
and then I'm like wide awake, and it's like an hour and a half before I even start work.
Yeah, and especially now while it's winter, it's still pitch black when you get home. There's still no one around. Like in the summer, it used to be alright because the sun would be coming up as you went home from that 5 a.m. class. So, so what gets me up in the morning is probably Matt Bateman most of the time at his squad. That's kind of it. And look, I like what I do.
Yeah.
I like going to work every day. I like dealing with the people. I like selling. I like dealing with customers. And I like the brand. So
makes it a lot easier to get out of especially when it's -2 this morning.
-2 this morning. And of course, having 2 young kids, they're going to get you out of bed if you don't. So it's not really optional.
Yeah. Can't sleep and do nothing. Are you a winger or a goal setter?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've always traditionally been winger, but as more and more has come onto my plate and life gets a bit more serious, you kind of have to set some goals.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of in the middle ground, because I'll set big, hairy goals, like big things that I want to achieve, and then a rough template of how I'm going to get there, and sort of wing it to get there, but with the end goal in sight.
That's, to be honest, every single person that I've interviewed said the same. They're like big goals, big visions.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, it's like they put that in and they kind of just find their own way there, and they eventually get there. It just takes a little bit longer sometimes, and doesn't work for the plan.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're in your own business. Like I don't have to go to work every day. No one's making me.
Yeah.
So you end up having to formulate some structure in your day.
Yeah.
And some people aren't super great at that, and it takes some time to get that. Once you've got that, then you do like having a little bit of freedom, because things can change so much. I mean, as you know, like you can have quiet days, you can have busy days, you can have cancellations, you can have break-ins like you had the other day. You know, like yeah, yeah. So like too much structure just ends up killing creativeness.
Do you kind of bounce back and forth with it, where you go, where it's like, for me, I find I go like super structured and like no winging it at all with super structured, and I find it's quite like, it feels like you're in a little box sort of thing, and then you go too much wing it mode, and then you feel like you're just like a loose cannon just all over the show, and then you kind of need like zigzag between the two a little bit, and it's good to do it, but man, sometimes when you're too far one way or too far the other way,
well, when you get like too far winging it, it's like you're rebelling against yourself, so you've got to kind of put yourself into line.
Well, have someone else do it for you.
Straight out of lockdown, I was in quite a lot of structure.
Yeah.
I think just because I had so much to do, there was so much I wanted to catch up on.
Yeah.
And I was really having to spend a lot of time in all of my businesses, and that's quite hard across multiple sites. So, yeah, very good. So just having the structure really helped, but it is also good to be able to, like my daughter's last day of preschool day, so she starts school next term. So it's good to be able to drop in to that celebration, have that flexibility. So, I like a degree of flexibility in what I do, and in the businesses that I've got, customers are not booked in, so you have to be free and available.
Yeah.
But the trade-off of that is it doesn't feel super efficient. Like that if you can book in this many haircuts a day, that you can, your guys are at 80% of their efficiency.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're standing around waiting for people,
that's why I don't really do walk-ins because of that whole reason.
Yeah.
Because say if you have a day where it's just walk-ins and it pours down rain, you might as well just stand there and just do nothing.
Yeah.
No one's really going to come in. So.
Yeah. But obviously, in quick service restaurants like Burger Fuel, we don't take bookings.
Yeah.
So it's, and we are, we're at the mercy of the weather and events that are on. So if there's a lot of sport on at night, then we'll get people coming in later. But if it's a really cold, rainy night with nothing on locally in Christchurch, you'll find everyone will smash you at 5:30 and want to go home for an early night. So
I don't really think about that too much over there.
Yeah, and just trying to sort your rostering out for that is a constant job to watch what's going on, because you need to know what events are on in the city. You can even look at the weather forecast can have an effect on your rostering.
So warmer, more out, people are out and about. We just have to walk down the terrace and stuff like that. Like have a pool floating around down there, and if it's pouring down, there's something to do what's out and about.
No, that's like post lockdown, everyone was in this sort of real early evening vibe because you've been at home. So if you were working at level 3 and you were lucky enough to sort of get out of the house, you'd just go straight home because there was nothing else to do. You weren't going to go play sport. You weren't going to go catch up with a mate for a drink. It was kind of work then home.
Yeah.
So our rush started at 4:30, and that's unheard of in a level 1 or a normal environment. So it was really interesting watching people's patterns.
Yeah.
And Christchurch gets dark really early in the winter, as you know. So that sort of pushes people. So in the summer, we can push our rushes an hour later just by the fact that people kind of eat when it gets dark.
Yeah,
it's like a natural thing.
It's like that thing that's like, it's getting dark.
It's like your body clock.
It's just like better start
thinking about what we're having for dinner, yeah. So.
I guess the one last question of this before we do some quick fire is, what did you want to do when you were growing up? What did you always want to be or do? There's a lot of kids want to be All Blacks, so they wanted to do this and that, firefighters, policemen. Did you have anything that stood out when you were a kid?
Look, I always loved cars growing up, so I always wanted to do something with cars, or something that enabled me to have cars. It was kind of one or the other. So that's sort of always been a background focus in my life. I've messed around with cars, I've bought and sold cars, I've raced cars, competed with sort of show cars. I've done sort of a lot of things in the car scene.
Yeah.
So that was always what drove me from as early as I can remember. And I didn't have a family that was into cars, so they sort of thought it was quite strange. But they get their head around it now. Yeah. So, Burger Fuels is a brand that's really closely aligned with cars, so that was the correlation with that. And it was a brand that it was quite young, so I was only sort of mid-20s when I got involved there. So it was...
They do all that, what's that? I think a Mustang? No.
Yeah, hot rods, like all-American muscle stuff. So, there was a car correlation there. And I also want a young brand.
Yeah.
So I like working with other people and doing things, but I'm not big on the suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different. the style.
Yeah, I think last time I wore one was at my wedding, so nothing since.
Just like, man, that's enough.
Yeah, it's a bit tight around the old throat.
Yeah. So a quick fire.
Bit of quick
Favourite coffee shop in Christchurch at the moment? You've got one that's like a go-to?
Favourite coffee shop? Oh, look, Luciano's is always the old favourite.
Yeah.
Go down there and have a bit of brekkie with the boys. Well, unknown chapter down St Asaph Street. Yeah, so probably the two go-tos for a bit of a meeting.
And then what about a brunch spot?
Good brunch. A really good bunch in Queenstown recently, but I don't think that's going to count. Hello Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
That's a good operation. And Little Poms.
Yeah. It's another one that's popped up lots lately.
Yeah.
And then I guess one of the other ones is favourite sort of retail spot that's in Christchurch, in and about Christchurch. You've got a store with whatever kind of retail that is, whether it's like clothing, cars, or horses. Have you got one that you like going to that's just like good sort of retail therapy sometimes every now and again?
Yeah, I guess my retail therapy is kind of different. I'm not big on clothes and shopping and that, so I do a lot of that online, but I really like, there's some really cool places that do really unique stuff to cars, so like high level grooming and like paint correction and places where we can sort of go and hang out with our cars. So places like Avid Industries, they're down in Birmingham Drive, so they do like paint protection and wrapping of cars, and that sort of stuff. So like that's where I would spend a lot of my time, both in work and out of work, and a lot of my money on their sort of stuff. For my retail therapy, it's probably a little bit different. But there's some cool little spots around it. Like there's some like a little e-scooter shop next to the Burger Fuels in Papanui.
Oh, you've seen it?
Luke's, Black Sheep Trading. Like we go and little e-bikes and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I probably do that, and just a lot of food, like a lot of eating.
Yeah, just eating.
All about eating. Yeah. So, but there's some really cool spots popping up around the city.
Yeah. Like around in town sort of thing, or like
just sort of things that are
as well. There's some like real funky little ones popping up around the outskirts as well.
Yeah, just like really cool little areas.
Yeah.
That you've got to kind of get out there and discover.
Yeah.
So like really big fan of like what's going on down Wells Street at the moment, and the Welder, and the crossing, and all that sort of stuff, and the terrace and farmers market.
So many different spots.
Yeah.
All over really.
Yeah, but it's just trying to keep up with them all.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for coming on the chat. It's good to have you yarn, and we'll see you next time when you're in.